we're going to miss you, Deb. And you're such a pleasant speaker. It's always such a pleasure when you speak. You have such a great demeanor. I'm going to choreograph my evaluation. First, I'm going to talk about how you met the purpose, what you did really well, a couple of suggestions, and then I'll summarize. Your purpose was to research a project, and I can tell that you've spent an entire year researching this project. As you went through the leadership qualities of the leadership group of Pikes Peak Toastmasters, you were able to identify some very specific things of those leaders. So good job on meeting the purpose of the speech. Some things you did really well. You have, just as I mentioned, a very pleasant demeanor. You connected with the audience. You went through quite a bit of the audience, actually, and described some things. Your voice was very good, very pleasant voice. We could understand what you were saying. Everything was said very well. Your speech had a quote in it by Steve Jobs, which inspired us, an inspiring speech that was very well done. Just a couple suggestions. You know, since we are on Zoom now, be conscious of the lighting, and perhaps standing would allow you to have some hand gestures. One suggestion about, you know, Greg's humility. You might inject just a little bit of humor by suggesting how it's obvious Greg has humility because he always talks about how handsome he is. A little humor would be kind of fun. The thank you at the end of the speech wasn't necessary because we want to thank you, Deb. Of all the speeches that have been done, one that I remember most is your speech about ahs and ums. It's okay to have an ah and once in a while, as long as it's not too distracting. I remember that speech, so thank you very much for that. And a suggestion for the conclusion of your speech is perhaps to, instead of just saying, I learned a lot, but be a little more specific on what you learned. You're very comfortable when you speak. You speak with a lot of confidence. So perhaps that's something that you could have said. I learned a lot, and by speaking a lot through Pikes Peak Toastmasters, I felt a lot more comfortable speaking in front of a group, and I have a lot more confidence with speaking. I have a lot more confidence with my job. A little bit stronger conclusion. It was a speech very well done. We're going to miss you, Deb, and I miss the hugs in the morning as well. Mr. Toastmaster.